Welcome to Immediate Review. Today, we're doing something a little different, but we've done something like this before. If you want to check that out, go check out our best and worst videos from 2019. Right now, we're going to rank our favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. From our least favorite to our most favorite. And this is not about technical precision or just like the amazingness of the film. And just as a preface, there have to be Quentin Tarantino movies at the bottom of the list. We got no choice. There's nothing but Quentin movies.
We haven't shared our list with each other, and this was so hard to make. Like last night, I just made an instinctive list, and I looked at it, and I was like, I don't like it. So I made an objective. I bracketed out like March Madness, every movie against every movie, tallied up the total numbers of winners, and objectively ranked them in a quantifiable sense, and I hated the list. And I was like, that's not it. So it took me forever. We're not counting True Romance or the honorable mention Four Rooms, which was directed by him and four other filmmakers.
And honestly, that movie is excellent. Even with Quentin directing a scene, all of the scenes are incredible.
Let's fucking get to it. You want to go first?
Okay, I will go first.
All right, let's hear.
So my number 9, essentially my least favorite, which is just it's just awful to say.
Okay, just say the one that is ranked.
The
fantastic film that is ranked number 9 is
Death Proof.
Death Proof.
I just think that, this one's just a little bit cheaper. You can tell that there wasn't as much budget here. It's still amazing. Come on. It's still amazing. It's just like, with, the nature of like what happens in the film. And, it's kind of just like a little mini revenge story. It's very isolated. It doesn't have a huge impact on the world around it and whatnot. It's just a good, solid movie. But in terms of a Quentin Tarantino movie, I believe it is number 9 for me.
Number 9. It's frequently put at number 9. And it's sometimes falsely considered his only bad movie. I strongly disagree.
That's wrong.
I strongly disagree with that. I didn't want to be cliche and put it at the bottom, but I did put it at the bottom as well. It is Death Proof is my number 9 pick, and here's the reason. I don't think there are really any flaws with Death Proof, but Death Proof is supposed to be 70s sleazy grindhouse, not a amazing character study like all of his other films are. And so it's just like the nature of doing a 70s grindhouse horror is just a simple, straightforward, fucked up movie. And it doesn't have the depth of his other films, but it doesn't need to, honestly. It's one of those things where it makes it not as good as his other films, but Death Proof is like perfect. I mean,
it is, yes.
Yeah, it brought back grindhouse cinema. His decision to have it be a destroyed film print with like the most obnoxious reel changes and a missing reel and missing frames and none of it done with effects. He just actually fucking meticulously and randomly damaged a film print. And it is brilliant. He was his own director of photography because in the 70s, directors would have to shoot it themselves, so he didn't use his fucking experienced college-trained cinematographer. It's just like Death Proof is fantastic, but it is at the bottom of both of our lists.
My number 8 film, people are gonna hate me for this, is Pulp Fiction.
Whoa, damn, coming in hot.
Yeah. So I think that what solidified this for me is a conversation I had with a woman outside of Hollywood Theater while we were waiting for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I believe.
I remember that.
We got in line a couple hours early, started chatting with her, and she just kind of talked about how the movie, she just hated the movie. and she was like a huge Quentin Tarantino fan, but she just hated.
Oh, I do
Pulp
remember her
Fiction.
saying that actually.
And yeah, like I talked to her about why, and it was a lot of like her own personal preference and stuff. The nature of like how drugs are presented, the graphic nature of the overdose scene, the rape. There's just a lot of themes that make her just very uncomfortable watching it, and I kind of agree with him. I don't hate the movie at all, but it does make me like uncomfortable to watch. Like, being in the situation of like men with guns coming to fucking, get their briefcase back and murdering, whoever, and just, crazy, like lots of money and kind of gang related stuff,
Yeah.
and just like I don't know, and yeah, just the nature of it is just very like a lot of negative things happen in this movie, and it's kind of just like, cataclysmic event to cataclysmic event of just shit going down.
Yeah.
And it's acted amazingly, and it's edited amazingly, and it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. Like, I can't like talk bad about it, but in terms of like why it's my number 8, that's basically the reason. Yeah, it's the movie I have the least fun watching, just because the
wow.
nature of like the graphic nature of like the events that happen, and just how real it is. Yeah, that's yeah.
Wow,
So,
I'm fascinated by that perspective. I totally get it. Yeah, that's really interesting. I believe too, if I remember, her boyfriend rocked up and we asked what his favorite was, and it was Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. They were super cool.
Yeah. Damn. Super interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna get shit for my number 8 pick too.
Here we go.
My number 8 pick is Reservoir Dogs.
Really? Holy shit! Okay.
It is. It's the only Tarantino movie that I have qualms with. And I almost put it at the very bottom because, like I said, I think Death Proof is basically perfect, and Reservoir Dogs I have a few problems with, but I can't deny Reservoir Dogs' cultural impact and the fact that it changed 90s cinema, and was remembering my experience seeing it in theaters, seeing Tarantino's own copy, and I was just like, no, I would be a fool. I would be a contrarian fool. But Reservoir Dogs. Mr. Brown's death is really weird and unclear. He's driving, and then he crashes into some trash cans, and he's like, I can't see, I got blood. And then Mr. Orange looks over, and he's just dead. And then later they're like, how do you think he got shot? And it's like, so he got shot in the head and got in the car and drove? Who shot him? Like, I don't know. It's just, that's really unclear. I think it's too short. It's way too short for me. Some people like might wholly disagree with that, but I love the last like 5 movies of his have been just 2.5, 3 hour meaty, amazing movies, and Reservoir Dogs always just flies by too quick. Yeah, I put it at number 8. It used to be my number 1 when I was a kid. It was my number 1, but I love where Tarantino's gone as a filmmaker, and I don't see this as his pinnacle of cinema. I see this as his early
foundation.
Yeah, I see it as a foundation, and yeah.
Okay, so my number 7 is Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mirror a lot of like basically what you said. I don't really have a ton of issues with the movie as a whole. I just think that
they're teeny tiny problems. It's still a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
me. It's just splitting hairs. It's like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like what one has to go here, and yeah, just like you said, I like the direction that he's gone as a filmmaker, and this is a foundation and not a peak.
Okay, my number 7. I think we might get shit. My number 7 is Pulp Fiction. So we both put them pretty low on the list. So yeah, Pulp Fiction is it's tough because, like, I think when when people tell me Pulp Fiction is their favorite movie, I get it. I really do. But for me, I have just seen it too many damn times, and it's been diminished a little. And like I always look back on it with like, oh, it's not as good as most of his films, and next time I watch it, I'll probably be mad I put it this low on the list. But just every time I watch it, I really do just like am just fully reminded of why it's so iconic, why it further changed cinema in the 90s, why he won best screenplay. But I put it low because again, it has just a lot of just like budgetary flaws that Reservoir Dogs has. There's almost no blood or any special effects like that, and I don't mean that in a like I want more blood, but just stuff like when Jules shoots flock of seagulls on the couch, there's nothing. There is no blood splatter. There is no like he grabs something and some blood pours. He literally just points the gun, shoots, and then he just curls up. Their gore budget was almost non-existent.
Well, the gore budget would be the head in the back of the car.
And that doesn't look great either. And again, splitting hairs here. It's still a 10 out of 10. It's just when I look at it from like a production standpoint, there are aspects of Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction that are just simply not as refined and could have been. This is not just it's an old movie, so of course it is. It's I don't know. That's just.
And yeah, I'd like to say about Pulp Fiction, in Portland at Movie Madness, they have the Marvin head. The Marvin
That's
head.
part of why I know it doesn't look good.
So yeah, go check out the museum there if you're anywhere in Oregon. It's super cool.
But yeah, I just want to clarify again, Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction are amazing. So don't get mad at us.
Okay. Again, it's like okay. So my number 6 is The Hateful Eight.
Okay.
So yeah, I love The Hateful Eight so much. But yeah, it's just I don't know, in terms of like just I think the biggest thing is like setting and whatnot in terms of like the movie. Compared to the others, there's just limited locations, and the story is just very isolated. Now that being said,
that's its strength.
I know. I know. So and yeah, the fact that like they were able to like shoot it in 70 millimeter in the snow, like look at the photos,
in a blizzard.
Like yeah, it's fucking incredible like what they were able to do. I love the pacing of it. I love the editing. I love the extended edition on Netflix even more. But in comparison to like his other movies, I just think that there's just more there, but man, like The Hateful Eight is so good, and like don't hate me for putting it there. Like
I don't hate you.
It's no, everyone, the audience, everybody.
Hateful Eight is his most hated movie, dude. My number 6 pains me too, man. My number 6 is Django Unchained.
Wow, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's Django Unchained is absolutely phenomenal. It's just such just a fun hero's journey that there are just so many moments where you just cheer on Django and his plight. Like that scene where he fucking grabs the whip from the Brittle Brothers and like whips the guy after shooting the other Brittle brother, and like I like the way you die, boy, and the Ennio Morricone track plays, and oh god, it is epic. But the one thing that just kept knocking Django lower and lower is the editing. It was the first film not edited by Sally Menke, edited by Fred Raskin. And I remember when I saw it in theaters, there were a few moments where I was just like, I can tell this isn't edited by the same person who did all his films. There are moments where you can just, the unextended cut of the movie is coming, and you can just feel chunks of the movie where there's so much missing. And in that sense, it almost still feels kind of incomplete. And there's one that's just flat out confusing when the KKK when they're riding down the hill and they're going after Schultz's thing. It's like they're all on their horses, and then it cuts to them talking in a group, and that scene takes place before. But like the way it cuts, the first time I saw the movie, I thought that was just another group of people, and then it kind of took a second. It wasn't until it cut back forward to them riding that I understood that it was nonlinear. Like I don't know, they should have put some type of like moments earlier or something. It was just there were moments where it's cutting like nonlinear Tarantino, but not doing it as well as Sally Menke did. And yeah, that kept bringing it down. But man, 10 out of 10 still. It's Django Unchained is so good. Yeah, it's your number 5.
Number 5 is Jackie Brown.
That's my number 5.
So yeah, I just like this one's it obviously feels a little older.
It's evoking the 70s era though.
Yeah.
All of his first 3 films.
And yeah, it's just like the soundtrack is fucking amazing.
Incredible.
It's like completely character driven and narrative driven, has great character development. It's just
For the longest time it was always the bottom of my list because it's based on a book and not a wholly original idea from Tarantino. Just for the longest time, I always considered that the big flaw of Jackie Brown, but now I see that as a strength. It's Tarantino adapting something and making the right changes, and it's interesting seeing him write for characters he didn't create. And now, as I'm older, I see all of that as just the film's unique qualities, and it's much more just slower and laid back. It's not quite as stylized as his other films, wisely, and just all the characters, Max Cherry, Ordell Roby, Pam Grier as Jackie Brown. Have we not mentioned her yet? She commands the screen every frame she's in. Yeah, I am so happy when I watch Jackie Brown, and even that bittersweet ending.
Number 4 is Kill Bill, Volume 1 and 2.
But by the way, I just like to say, yes, Kill Bill counts as one film because Tarantino wrote one script, went out and shot one movie, and then while they were editing and whatnot, they then decided maybe it's a better idea to release 2 movies. It was not like they made Kill Bill and it was a hit and they were like, let's make the second one. It is one movie. We are counting it as one movie.
So it takes the number 4 spot. And yeah, it's just, like Uma Thurman is incredible. The screenplay for this is just fucking fantastic. Like the way that it lays everything out for you, the way that I love anime, and this is like his most anime movie. Like it's got training sequences, it's got revenge storyline.
It's got an anime
sequence. It does have an anime sequence in it. It's just like, I don't know. It's so fucking awesome, and just the soundtrack is just fucking incredible.
Yep.
Bah, bah, bah. Like it's fucking so good, and yeah, I just like the choreography is fucking excellent. Uma Thurman is just a fucking
Uma Thurman
badass.
She should have won an Oscar. She spoke like fucking 4 languages, had to learn a bunch of kung fu. She did all that training and shit. When her knuckles are bleeding and she's doing that, she was really doing it. She put herself through so much fucking shit and delivered an emotionally impactful performance. Yeah, sorry, it's not my turn to speak on Kill Bill, but just like I legitimately think she should have won an Oscar that year for that performance. If it was one movie, she probably would have. If it was one movie. No. If it was released in theaters as one singular film, that's what I meant.
And yeah, it's just, Kill Bill, man. It's like, I don't know, it's got boss fights. It's got just like, it's got fodder enemies, like they use, she takes out, just a ton of fucking people. It's so fucking good, and it's, just builds in to this excellent fucking storyline. Like, she rips an eyeball out of a motherfucker's face. Like,
a couple.
And yeah, it's like, hell yeah, Kill Bill.
Kill Bill. Okay, my number 4 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you expected it to be higher.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe it's just still too new for me to fully dub it as 1 or 2. But yeah, I saw this movie 10 times in theaters. I just kept going back to it. It's so fucking excellent. We did a full review. I was getting over a cold, so I didn't do as well as I liked. But we have a review of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I talk a lot about it in that. But yeah, it was 2019, so satisfying, best movie of 2019 for me. I just but the other 3 movies, I still think are better, as much as I loved this one, and it was his most personal film. Yeah, I just go watch our review.
Okay, my number 3 is Django Unchained. So yeah, kind of going back to Kill Bill. I love anime, and Django is a fucking like a Western anime, man. It just does, like, there are fucking just crash zooms fucking everywhere. It's just like, it just feels like it was based on a comic book or something like that. Just like this awesome,
They made a comic book out of it.
Yeah, just like awesome hero story that just follows this fucking badass, like and I think the reason that it feels so anime is like the level of like how awesome the squibs are in this. Like,
yeah.
If you don't know what a squib is, it's like the blood that flies out of gunshot wounds and whatnot. And obviously, if you've seen Django Unchained, the squibs are just fucking massive.
Dude,
like,
when we saw it in theaters, you literally out loud were like, "Why are they so fucking big?"
like, it's like literally the impact of these shots is like explosive. It's just like there's just blood flying fucking everywhere, and just like they destroy sets. The acting is just fucking incredible.
It's a phenomenal film,
and all of the actors, like especially Leo and honestly our main 4, Sam Jackson, Christoph Waltz, right?
Yeah, Christoph Waltz.
Leo and Jamie Foxx are all just very animated in the way that they present their characters, and their characters are very contrasty, like and they come from, like, you have the German like assassin, and then like a slave who found his freedom and became a bounty hunter, and then like a super fucking like racist like slave owner and plantation owner, and then a like secret like house slave that is like
controlling everything.
is actually like incredibly intelligent, and it's like Quentin Tarantino's racist. Come on. But like I don't know, it's just like how all of them come together is very much like how anime brings in facets from other cultures and presents them in unique ways tied into their culture. And yeah, this movie just does that so fucking well as an Americanized movie, and it's just so, yeah, it's so anime, and I fucking love it.
I agree, man. I really wanted to put it in the top 3 because it just is so just phenomenal. And yeah, I can't wait for the extended cut. We'll definitely do a review of that when it comes out. And one thing I'd like to say about Django that I forgot is I think what's cool about Django is Tarantino usually writes these amazing, like, amoral gray area characters. Like we were talking about The Bride. It's like, yeah, she's the hero, but she's also done horrible things in her life, which makes the character interesting, but it's just a fact. Django is one of the few protagonists where he is wholly in the right. Like it's just he has done fucking nothing wrong, and he's had his life taken away from him for just it's being born essentially, and he deserves every goddamn bit of revenge he seeks, and I think that's what makes it just extra fucking just like inspirational. Is just like this character deserves it, and yeah, we see him get it, and when he rides off with Kerry Washington as Broomhilda, it is just it is a happy fucking ending, and yeah, it's just great. Okay, my number 3 is Inglorious Bastards. Yeah, I put it over Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because I just like I can't deny the perfection of Inglorious Bastards.
Apparently
And-
you can, because it's not your number one.
But this is subjective. This list is pure subjective. But it is just I think it really is a perfect film in every way, and it was one of his biggest hits, deservedly so. And I just the way the plot is crafted, all of it leading up to going to the theater to kill Hitler, it's just fucking poetic. It's amazing. The fact that most of it's not even in English. Like most of the time American movies, they're just like, oh, fuck it, everybody speaks English. But like this movie is as accurate as possible with the dialogue, and Brad Pitt is phenomenal, and I just it's yeah, Inglourious Bastards, amazing.
All right, my number 2 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, this movie just like left a just strong impact on me. Like the slow build up to just the amazing ending, seeing it in a theater full of people who just love Quentin Tarantino.
I forgot to mention the ending. It was so great every night watching the audience.
Every night checking it out and seeing how people reacted. Like, there was more reaction to this movie's ending than any other movie I had ever seen in theaters.
That's what kept me coming back.
Yeah,
man.
it was just seeing everybody just like when like shit goes down and everybody's laughing because Brad Pitt's on LSD.
It's so surreal.
And then
He so deserved that Oscar.
And then it's just like an explosion of shit, and everyone's just like, oh, like what? Whoa! Like just fucking freaking out. And yeah, it shook the fucking theater, man. Every single time that I saw this. And yeah, it's like
all of your screenings were in Portland too. You never saw it at Old Mill.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
I saw some underwhelming Old Mill screenings.
And yeah, it just blew me away, and like, you know, how close it was to Quentin as like as a director, you know, putting his own perspective.
I think it's his only personal film,
into a character and into the movie. And just the way that, you know, like everything pays off. You know, you see a flamethrower in chapter 1. You gotta cook somebody with it in chapter 3. Come on. Like, come on.
Chekhov's flamethrower.
You know, and it's just like, yeah, I just, like, I have a blast with this movie. This movie's long, and I can watch it like it's a fucking just, like it's an hour-long movie, you know. It does not feel like it's 3 hours to me at all, especially after the first time I saw it. Second time, it was just like, holy fucking shit, this movie is completely different than the first time I saw it. It is placed fucking incredibly. It's like,
I've never had a movie have such a difference between night and day with the pacing. Watching
right,
the second
like
time.
It changed my perspective on like how movies can be viewed. You know, and once you understand what's happening, like, yeah.
And that is unfortunate because so many people were underwhelmed with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And, you know, nobody likes to hear, you gotta see it again. But it really is true with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like, the second time is completely different.
No, yeah, it is. And it's like, yeah, you like, most people only watch a movie once. And like,
the first time was my least enjoyable screening. It's like the first time I saw it, I was like, yeah, cool. And then all the other times I was just fucking like, yeah.
Yeah, so far the only movie that I really want to watch again, but I'm having trouble doing it, is A Hidden Life because I keep crying. All right.
All right, number 2. I put Kill Bill as my number 2 pick. And the reason is,
It's fantastic.
yeah, it's everything that makes movies good. It's everything. It dabbles in thriller, western, kung fu flick. It's got an anime sequence. It's got a little like Italian influence. Some French New Wave, black and white. It is just, it's fucking cinema. The music, it goes from epic, grand scores with scope to just fucking badass groovy needle drops. Yeah, there are no, everyone's immoral. There are no real perfect good characters in the movie. Everyone is just likably bad in one way or another, except Hattori Hanzo. He's the only pure soul. But Kill Bill is just fucking, yeah. It was Tarantino's return after like a 7-year break between Jackie Brown and that, and man, was it a triumphant one. And yeah, hopefully one day we get to catch it in theaters. Yeah.
All right. Drum roll, please. My number 1 Quentin Tarantino movie is Inglourious Bastards. This movie is fucking perfect.
It is.
Okay? It is perfect.
It is.
All right. It is the quintessential Quentin Tarantino film. Okay? If you like,
I think this might be my masterpiece.
My recommendation, if you have not seen a Quentin Tarantino movie and you want to see one, I would recommend Inglourious Bastards. It has the most iconic opening scene ever. Like, I have never seen an introduction to a movie just have two people having a conversation over a pipe and some milk be so fucking compelling and intimidating. Dude, and fucking perfect.
I vividly remember the first time seeing that in theaters.
Me too.
Like,
me too. I could be wrong about this, but I think it might have been the first Quentin Tarantino movie I saw in theaters. Like, I didn't know.
Me too. It was.
Yeah, I didn't know about Quentin Tarantino until that movie came out. And I watched it and I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
That's a good introduction.
Yeah. And it's just stayed with me since then, seeing it in theaters. It just like,
we went to Hollywood Theater and got to see a film print of it. It was awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, just it was my first introduction to Christoph Waltz as well, and just seeing him just parade himself around. It was
America's first introduction to Christoph Waltz.
It was like just seeing him like that there are sometimes like kind of the Umbridge syndrome, where a character plays a bad character so well you hate them. This was a situation of a character playing a bad character so well I loved the actor even more for how well they portrayed this horrible character.
Tarantino is brilliant. He can make a fucking Nazi charismatic and you still hate him. Like, it's just, he's so good at developing complex, nuanced characters. And yet it is not some fucking Nazi apologist shit.
No.
Or something. It is full on hate Nazis.
Yeah,
Tarantino's just a fucking genius.
Yeah, the reason is because it shows the Nazi genuinely. It shows their side of things, how they view things in a realistic, like, completely real, like the ideology that he brings forward in the movie,
analogies to animals and shit,
is completely tied in with how the Nazis actually speak. And it's like it is like the horribleness of that side is presented genuinely, and that's why it's so good. It's like, yeah, you fucking hate this guy because he's a piece of shit, but you know that he could be a real person. If you can portray your character in a genuine way, rather than just sprinkling whatever stereotypes you want into a framework of like based around your own ideology, then You know, you're like that. That's how you do it.
That's
and Quentin is a fucking master. This movie is fucking incredible. There are so many other things I could talk about this movie, but you guys know. You can just go watch it.
I wish we were doing review. We saw it last year,
Yeah.
and then 2 months later we started doing reviews.
Yeah, if we would have been doing it then, that would have been dope.
Would have been fun. But yeah, all right. So for my number one pick, I was just trying to think. I was like, in order to choose my number one, it's got to be something that just really has something special. And it's something special to me. And I realized that there is only one film that I have literally built a ritual and tradition around. And that's The Hateful Eight. It is the only film that I have a time when I like to watch it, which is wintertime when the first heavy snow falls. Person A and I always watch The Hateful Eight. I don't do that with any other Tarantino movie where it's like it's a fun celebratory thing. When I do watch it, I mimic the roadshow. I put on my record of the overture. I play the overture, turn that off, watch the movie, pause it at the moment where the intermission happens, play Crystal Gale's record on the turntable because that was the intermission song, and then I continue the movie. I just like it's the only one I do that, and I really gotta give it the top place for doing that. And yeah, I drove to Hollywood Theater to see the 70 millimeter print. And it changed my life because I discovered the Hollywood Theater. And it's the only film that's probably changed my life. I wouldn't have discovered that theater. Wouldn't have seen 2001: A Space Odyssey. Like, it led to so many more experiences at the Hollywood Theater. The all-night horror marathon, me meeting Pam Grier. It's like there are moments that change lives, and Hateful Eight forever changed my theater going experience, and for that reason, I fucking adore it. And yeah, the 70 millimeter Ultra Panavision, it's amazing. It's so good. I bet if you saw it in theaters, it might rank like 2 places more above, because like in theaters, just the sound design with the wind in the cabin and stuff, and seeing the audience react to like Sam Jackson and stuff, it's just yeah, The Hateful Eight. I get so happy when I'm about to watch it, and I have all these silly things I do, and it changed my life, and I love it. I honestly, I think we should review the miniseries one day. What do you think? Yeah, because yeah, I don't know. I think this video's gone on long enough, and I don't want to get into the individual reasons why I love The Hateful Eight. So yeah, let's review the Netflix version one day.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
All right.
So what do you think? Most surprising things on each other's lists.
Honestly, I think Reservoir Dogs was the most surprising one, because yeah, we both did just like and just I think just how like close we were on certain things.
The bottom 3, I was just like, man, if our lists are exactly the same, that's gonna be really boring.
But yeah, sometimes that happens. But sometimes like having the same one in the same spot, like Reservoir Dogs, lets us talk about it at the same time. So it's like, and that's how we normally do our reviews. So yeah, I don't know. You guys, what's your ranking?
Yeah, what's your ranking?
You guys want to put your ranking in the bottom, and yeah, we'll fucking tear the hell out of it and tell you that you're dumb. Just kidding. We're nice.
All right.
So yeah, we're off to do our next review. See you guys next time.